What we have here is a nice funnel that the deer in this area use to move through the forest. Down below here we have fairly open woods from here to the bottom drainage. And the deer can visually see down there if there's any predators. And they are moving at the near the top, be the military crest of this small hill here. And they're keeping thick brush right at their backs. So you can see this fallen over tree here. Um, the funnel begins right here, right in front of me. And this forces the deer to come right through there, right where the camera is set up right now. And there's a lot of reasons why the deer are going to move through here and not at the bottom or at the very top. From this spot down to the bottom of there, there's no thick cover. And even in the summertime, I can see almost 50 yards, and that means in the winter it's even worse. So they want to stay where they can either duck into the cover, or move right along the edge is what they usually like to do. If there's any danger, they just scurry back into this cover and they're gone. If you're a bow hunter and deer detect something wrong, it'll just disappear in the brush and it's fine. I mean, they don't have much to worry about. They feel secure traveling these types of funnels. I found this place during the winter season when there was snow on the ground, and it was a heavily used trail. And I came back here in June, and I went right to the spot, and there's fresh droppings right there, right on the trail that they were using before. So when I find these consistent patterns throughout January and through the summer, that gets me really excited, because what it tells me is that my intel is correct, that this is a funnel. And I literally will sit in a spot like this all day long if I have the whole day off from work. I will sit here from dawn to dusk, knowing that the longer I sit here, the better my chances of getting a shot at a buck or doe simply slipping through the funnel. Now today there's a pretty good wind out here. Feels great. It's a nice day to be out here in the low 70-degree temperatures. And the thermals are coming right up the ridge, which you would expect. So I also noticed that the wind also blows down that, and I think that's it's either the way the wind just flows through the area, or it could be the westerly wind direction. It's probably the westerly wind direction. There are some beds that I found past here, and that's enough just to know that deer do bed in here. And this spot will get better and better through the rut as the deer need to travel through this drainage. And this is the pinch point, and this is the spot that I want to be. There's no better spot in this area than where I am right now. You literally have to walk about a half mile in any direction to find another good spot. So once you've found these spots, I recommend that you come in, bring some trail markers, and mark the tree so you can find it in the dark. Use reflective markers and have your tree picked out. If you're using lightweight sticks, you're going to need your lineman's belt here. I've got my Ropeman 1 all set up and ready to go. And of course, you're going to need your harness. This is the fallen over tree that creates a funnel, makes a deer not want to go into this thick stuff right up here. And right down here, when I first popped into this area, first thing I found were these droppings right here. They're fresh. They were made today, probably this morning. And that just lets me know that this is a permanent funnel. I'm out on Nice, cool, mild June day here scouting for whitetails in the state of Pennsylvania. Today is one of the coolest days out. It's June 11th, and there are a couple of vehicles parked in the main parking lot, and I just got my stuff and walked down the road, cut into the brush here a little ways, where there's a very heavy trail. I'm standing right on it, coming out of real super thick cover, going down to a drainage to get water. The big bucks, well, I guarantee you they're going to be using this trail because I've already checked the tracks and they're huge. And this is a spot that I will get some quality bucks in velvet this summer. It happens every year when I find spots like this. And that's the excitement of capturing these big velvet monarchs on video. So I'll be setting up a camera here today after I show you these tracks here and the crossing. You're going to get these big 140-inch plus public land whitetails on camera. Some of them are typical, some are non-typical. The biggest one I got so far was an 11 pointer, and he could very well still be around. But this area is going to be excellent for capturing these big bucks on camera and does as well. However, I'd never hunt this spot. The wind is just 100% wrong here. And how often do you jump a big buck in the bottom of the drainages during the middle of the day? Never. The only time you would jump a big buck would be during the rut if he's actively pursuing doe. So the strategy that I'm using this year for hunting involves backtracking these heavily used trails back up into the thick cover and looking for a funnel close to the bedding area, usually right outside the bedding area, and just setting up. And if you work at it, you'll find one spot, one chink in their armor, and that's where you're going to want to set up. And it's almost impossible, in my opinion, to kill these deer, these big bucks, unless you can find that one weak link. Right in front of me is the main trail that these deer are using right here. And this is the main trail that I'll monitor this year. Hopefully catch some big bruisers on video. I'll take you for a walk down in here. There's actually a couple trails. There's a second one here. You can see where I'm in this little glade here. There's a second one that comes down through here. And here's our drainage. This is where you're gonna find the big tracks. There's a little trail here, and then there's the main trail right here in front of us. There it is. Look at this. Well, that right there's got some good tracks on it. Crossing the bank, and they are a good size. Look at the size of this one right here. That one right there. That is a big track. If I put my fingers there, okay, so it is a 3-finger. We'll find out what he looks like. I could be a 2.5-year-old, but look at this on the other side though. Now, this is where they're actually crossing, and you can see, look at those tracks there. Those are the ones that I'm getting excited about, and down here. Look at that. Let me put my fingers in there. So this one right here, where it's splayed, that is a solid 4-finger track. Now, it could be that he's splayed out, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably a monster buck. This is the kind of thing I look for in the summertime to get big bucks on video. Here's a little survival tip if you're ever stranded in the forests of Pennsylvania. If you find yourself a nice drainage like this one right here, this one happens to be a nice deer crossing. See the tracks right here. Just remember this. These turtles are real common to these drainages this time of year. There's a box turtle right there. And so if you needed a meal in a survival situation, you walk these drainages and you should find these guys. I find them all the time, especially in June. That's where I have a tendency to search for big tracks and big deer. In this case, we have a little box turtle here that's just going about his business. But if you were in a survival situation and you needed protein, right here you got it. So he's in his shell now, protecting himself. That's how they protect themselves. So you just have to get a big rock if you're, again, only if you're in a survival situation and you need protein, and you need to break it open and cook yourself some turtle soup.